This is what crime looks like. It is. Everything that you generally tend to see on the television, that's not what crime looks like. That's not. And the reason I say that is because that's just the aftermath of everything that's gone on. Okay, the real crime is camouflaged. This is, and they get away with stuff like this time and time again, and they're going to continue to get away with it because the media plays an important role in revealing the truth, and a lot of times they just don't. They highlight black people as the issue when it comes to drugs. They highlight black people as the issue with everything, right? And it's not. It never has been. Black Americans have never been the root of any drug issues in the United States of America ever. I'm going to tell you who's always been the root. Always. Asians and Europeans. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Because, and they love to say Mexico. They love the Mexican cartels. The Mexican cartel. Hold up. Before you say the Mexican cartels anything, okay? Because they do play a part, but hold on. They play the aftermath. See, I'm going to the aftermath, okay? So watch this. Asians supply Mexican cartels with the chemicals to make the drugs. There's a beforehand. Before the drugs, guess who supplies them? So those criminal Asian networks supply them with the chemicals to do it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So every time you see a drug problem, there's a drug problem in this area. There's a drug problem in this area. Don't look at Black America. Who brought the drugs here to create the problem? It's like, how let's say if somebody starts a fire. Let's say if there's a fire, okay? What the firefighters then do is they go and they try and figure out what caused the fire, right? In the first place, they go to the root. They try to find out where it started so that they can put that sucker. They can figure out how this thing happened, why, and all these other things they can make. Then they can go out and make, how do we stop this from happening again, right? There has never been a time in the United States of America where they said, how do we stop this from happening again? And the reason being is because they keep pointing the finger at black people. We're not the root. We don't have criminal networks all around the world. The flip makes no sense. And they always point the finger at Mexico. If you really wanted to stop this from going on, you would point the finger at Europeans and Asians. Makes sense to me. The Mexican cartels would not even be as big as they are if it were not for Asians providing them with the chemicals. They would be much smaller. So to me, if I really wanted to stop something or make something much smaller, I would target the root. I would say, okay, if the cartels, who they always like to talk about, are humongous, okay? And they top some of the most drug trafficking. Why? It's because they're getting the chemicals from Asia. People, okay, so what have chemicals got to do with it? Okay, because without the chemicals, see, they're all synthetic. If you don't have the chemicals to preserve the substance, then you won't have a substance. You have to wait on stuff like the weather conditions, agriculture. So without the chemicals, the cartels will lose billions of dollars. I just always wondered, like, why do they keep focusing on black people? Because they don't want to stop it. They don't want to stop it. Every government agency knows that black Americans do not fund these major networks. And we don't have networks all in Africa, all in Asia, all around the globe. That's not black America. But here in the United States of America, where they love to say, oh, we're going to fight this. We're going to fight the drug epidemic. We're going to fight all this. Well, no, you're fighting black people. And you're labeling it drugs. There was never a war against drugs. There was a war against black people. They just labeled it drugs. Mm-hmm. Yep. And, oh, we got to keep these drugs from coming across Mexico. We got to keep these drugs from coming across from Mexico. Okay. Well, I have an idea. Stop Asia. And nobody talks about European networks, okay? But yeah, they sell to the Mexican cartels too. But when it comes just direct substance, they are more involved with the quote unquote higher end drugs. Higher end. Okay? So they're like the sedity drugs. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. And they send chemicals to help the cartels. European networks and Asian networks send the chemicals to help the cartels do what they do. Now, here's the question. Here's the question. How about the Afro-Caribbeans? How about Black Americans? How about even Africans? Do any of the racially black people as a network supply Mexican cartels with chemicals? The answer is no. But the focus remains right on who the focus should not remain on. The root of the problem is Europe. The root of the problem is Asia. Stop them. If you cut off the supply, there will be no demand. And that leads us right back to Penn State and this alleged drug kingpin. The alleged supplier with a whole bunch of addicts enrolled in the university.